Another oathbreaker initiates a special session in which the sole goal is to illegally and unconstitutionally shred the Second Amendment for approximately 6 million residents in this state. Old Elmer Fudd himself, Governor Tim Walz, is at it again. And while this obviously violates the Second and the 14th Amendments to the Constitution of the United States, Minnesota has no explicit right to keep and bear arms within its own state constitution. Well, there's a constitutional amendment that's proposed looking to fix that, but here we are. Hey everyone, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets. I'm here in the Patriots Tavern, and today we have a timely and important update. Minnesota is convening a special legislative session starting October 6, 2025, specifically focused on shredding the Second Amendment. And in this video, I'll walk you through the proposed package of changes, unpack some details and implications for gun owners and Americans in the state. And before I jump into it, you know, guys and gals, in this self-defense community, a good attorney can cost you at least $500 an hour. A really good one can cost 3 times that amount. And what if I told you you could be covered for the entire year should you have to defend yourself in every single state, and you can have the best self-defense attorneys in the country, and you could cover yourself for the entire year for less than what just a good attorney will cost per hour? Join Attorneys on Retainer. If you're ever targeted by the government simply for exercising your Second Amendment rights, you're going to want to have them in your corner. If you can carry a firearm for self-defense, then you need a legal team that actually understands your rights. AOR is the program, but the law firm is Attorneys for Freedom, and they're the only law firm in America that specializes in self-defense cases. That's all they do. It's the only cases they take. If you can reasonably and in good faith assert that you acted in self-defense of yourself or others, they will cover you. They've got your back. Red flag orders, self-defense claims in every single state, in gun-free zones, whether a weapon was used or not. Yes, they cover OC spray or tasers. Any weapon, including those not on your state rosters, whether or not you have a CCW permit, and so much more. Learn more at the link down below, and for a limited time, I'll save you $50 off your individual plan sign-up fee or $25 off your family plan sign-up fee, but you have to use my code GNG at the link down below. It's a limited time. Plus, if you join now, you can lock in your pricing until 2030. It's huge because they're adding more benefits all the time, and more benefits do cost more money, so prices will go up. They're ready to fight for you when others won't. Join Attorneys on Retainer. All right, back to this. For a bit of context, this is the document from Governor Walz that officially kicked this off. It says, Governor Tim Walz and DFL legislative leaders today released a detailed proposal for a special session, and we'll show you that detailed proposal in a second, focused on gun violence and school safety. The governor and DFL leaders proposed specific action on guns, as well as bipartisan proposals on school safety, additional mental health resources, and new funding for law enforcement. The governor, Tim Walz, said, "This proposal meets the expectations that Minnesotans have for their elected leaders, that we respond to threats to public safety and take direct action on guns. We will not let this issue simply go away." That's right, never let a tragedy go to waste. Our offer addresses mental health, school safety, support for law enforcement, and most importantly, common sense gun laws. The DFL leader, Erin Murphy, that's the Democratic-Farmer-Labor Party, she said, "In the wake of an unspeakable tragedy, DFL leaders have come to the table with a substantial list of proposals to make Minnesota a safer place. I'm disappointed Republicans refuse to address the issue of gun violence in any real way. Minnesotans want a comprehensive approach, which should include funding for school safety and mental health access, as well as taking action to limit the easy access to weapons of war on our streets. We are ready to make significant progress, but cannot do that without Republicans showing courage on the issue. Parents from Annunciation, other schools, and Minnesotans around the state are demanding that we do something. And so far, only one side is listening to them. Representative in the House, Zach Stevenson, said, "House DFLers are committed to meaningful action on gun violence, including getting weapons of war off our streets. We have made a good faith offer to the Republicans that includes their policy priorities in an attempt to reach a bipartisan agreement. But the question remains, will they join us in this effort? Minnesotans deserve to be safe from gun violence. They are demanding action, and they deserve to know where Republicans stand on addressing gun violence. We shouldn't have to endure more mass shootings, more violence, and more grief. Now is the time for common sense action to keep our communities safe. Real quick note, there's no such thing as gun violence. There's violence perpetrated by criminals who have evil in their hearts and minds that sometimes do it with firearms. Guns don't do it by themselves. This is what they want to take. This is the list of rights they want to violate for you if you don't do what I will tell you right after this. This is the detailed proposal for the special session. In order to pass legislation to address gun violence, no such thing, which is critical to the safety, health, and well-being of citizens of Minnesota, the governor of Minnesota and the below legislative leaders agree as follows. 1. The governor will call a special session to convene on Monday, October 6, 2025 at 10 a.m. at the state capitol in St. Paul, Minnesota. Number 2, the activity of the legislature during the special session must be confined to final passage of all of the following policies and appropriations. A. Assault weapons and high-capacity magazines ban. No such thing. Neither assault weapons, no such thing, or high-capacity magazines. No such thing. B. A binary trigger ban. C. Eliminate the ghost gun loophole. No such thing. D. Strengthen extreme risk protection orders, red flag orders, including increased funding for public outreach and education, meaning they want more filed. E. Expand school safety funding. F. Increase funding for mental health treatment. G. Strengthen prohibitions against domestic abusers to ensure they do not have access to firearms. H. Increase criminal penalties for violent offenses committed with a firearm and increase criminal penalties for impersonating a police officer. I. Increase funding to the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension's Behavioral Threat Assessment and Management Team. 3. With due regard to the individual rights and authorities of each member of the Minnesota legislature, the undersigned legislative leaders and representatives of their caucuses agreed that A. All appropriation funding targets and sources will be agreed upon by all 4 legislative leaders and the governor prior to Monday, October 6, 2025. The undersigned leaders agree that the combined budget targets will not exceed $20 million net impact per biennium. B. Legislative committees will be responsible for negotiating specific policy details and appropriations budget bill language. If any legislative committee is unable to agree to final details, legislative leaders and the governor will be responsible for approving final bill language in time to secure final passage of all above mentioned bills during the special session. C. The legislative leaders will not support amendments once the above bills are finalized in bill form by agreement of the leaders below, except where an amendment is agreed upon by the leaders below. Now, the finalized bills must be passed by both bodies before 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, October 12, 2025. D. No other bills, other than those listed above, may be passed, unless there is a unanimous agreement in writing by the undersigned leaders. 4. The special session must conclude by Sunday, October 11, 2025. Both the House and the Senate must adjourn the special session sine die before 12 a.m. on Monday, October 13, 2025. This agreement may be changed by the agreement of the undersigned leaders. Governor Tim Walz, Representative Lisa DeMuth, who's the Speaker of the House, Representative Zach Stevenson, who's the DFL caucus leader, Senator Aaron Murphy, who's the majority leader, and Senator Mark Johnson, who is the minority leader. They're going to have to ram this through both chambers really, really fast to violate your rights. Now, this explicitly states that the special session is being called to pass legislation solely in the areas of the Second Amendment and public safety. Now, why this matters? This is not a broad omnibus special session. It's laser focused on violating the Second Amendment. Laser focused. The leaders have already laid out specific proposals and a binding timeline to force action. They've already got the stuff ready to go. Now, for gun owners and advocates or law enforcement and citizens, this is a high-stakes window. If passed, this unconstitutional effort will forever change the Second Amendment landscape in Minnesota. Illegally and unconstitutionally, I will add. Now, what guns and accessories are legal or how enforcement works, the scope of liability, that's all going to be played out somewhere else because they can't figure that out in 6 days. Now, here are the core pieces proposed in the special session. They want to, 1, ban so-called assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. There's no such thing as an assault weapon. Assault is an action, and a firearm is an inanimate object, and there's no such thing as high-capacity magazines. They are standard-capacity magazines. Now, this package calls for banning these commonly owned semi-automatic rifles and standard-capacity magazines in violation of the Supreme Court's precedent in Heller and Bruin, as well as the Second Amendment and the 14th Amendment, which makes it applicable to the states. Number 2 is the binary trigger ban. The Minnesota Democratic-Farmer-Labor Party specifically proposed this. The farmers don't want citizens to have a Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. The farmers. The farmers use firearms to keep their farms safe from predators. So they can have these things, but not you. Number 3, they want to eliminate the so-called the loophole for ghost guns. Can't even say it because it doesn't even exist. Now, they want to eliminate the ability for individuals to assemble their own firearms, something that's been legal and lawful to do since before the founding of the country. All along, it's been okay. Now, this will likely involve requiring serialization of parts, stricter rules on DIY kits, and more oversight on unserialized components that don't meet the definition of firearm, because the definitions for firearms, and that's all done by Congress. So it's already set up. So they're going to violate that as well. They want to strengthen extreme risk protection orders, ERPOs. That's red flag laws. Now the proposal here expands them. That means they want more of them. Red flag laws are the biggest violation, the biggest risk to the Second Amendment. They're unconstitutional workarounds to the Bill of Rights, and they violate several of our rights, not just the Second Amendment. The session must adjourn by midnight on October 12th, which means House and Senate have to ram this through, but they're going to need Republicans to join them. Tight deadlines, narrow scope, and strong controls over the amendments mean they want to ram this through. Doesn't matter what you think as a citizen. Who is their boss? And that's a problem here. We the people are the employers of this country. We the people are their bosses, yet they're going to tell you, we're going to restrict you. We're going to take away your rights. If you don't like it, do something about it. They're challenging you, Mr. and Mrs. America. So what you should expect here as this session unfolds is going to be rough. And our viewers can stop this. What you can do is call this number. Call your state rep at 651-296-2146. Tell them absolutely no gun control special session. 0. No deals. No compromise. This all comes down to just a couple people in the state house and an almost tied Senate in Minnesota. So the number's here for the House again. 651-296-2146. The numbers for the Senate, state senators, 651-296-0545. I'll have a link down below. You can figure out who your reps and senators are. This is unacceptable, guys and gals. This, if you ask me, is a prime example of something that the Second Amendment task force that was created by Pam Bondi in the Department of Justice, Pam Bondi being the Attorney General, this is prime for them to take up. And this is something that Assistant Attorney General and head of the Civil Rights Division in the Department of Justice, Harmeet Dillon, who watches this channel, this is something that she should attack immediately. This is going to have a rapid pace. The session begins on October 6th and it ends on October 12th. 6 days, sorry. October 6th to October 12th. That's 6 days to debate. 6 days to amend, which the amendments, they're only going to take only ones that they all approve universally. So that ain't going to happen. There's going to be no amendments, and it has to be passed all in 6 days. Legal challenges will probably be launched immediately in many cases here, but Minnesota's special session is going to be a tight-scoped, high-stakes attempt to enact sweeping gun control in a very short window. I will cover this every step of the way. So subscribe to Guns and Gadgets and check the channel back often, because sometimes I do multiple videos a day and YouTube's not going to tell you about them. So do the best you can to check back often. If you found this helpful, like and share it and hit that bell notifications. Maybe YouTube will tell you when I put out new stuff so you don't miss any updates, but it's going to be on us to check back regularly. Thank you for watching, guys and gals. Stay sharp, stay informed, stay armed, and stay free. Until then, I am Jared from Guns and Gadgets. I love you. God bless you. This is on us, Minnesota. It's time to get involved. No longer can we sit back and say someone else will do this. Some group will do this for us. This is exactly what these anti-American leaders are counting on. So get involved. It only takes you a couple minutes to make these phone calls. Email your representatives. Might take another minute. And get involved. If you can, go to the in-office hours and see them face to face. These are your employees. If you don't agree with how your employees are working, fire them.